Morning. I caught you at 8:30. Couldn't wait any longer. I just, me, got to get going. It's already been like 4 hours in the day. That's a long time to wait around. Uh, Sometimes I'll post when I'm going to go live because I think I'm going to sleep in, and then I get up and I start moving. And it's like before my head gets in a million directions, I want to get on here. So today, day 24 of 26 days. Hi, Cindy. Listen, Cindy, with regards to yesterday's self-worth, anybody watching, anybody following along, I'm not going to be throwing anything personal out there, Cindy, so don't freak out. But I asked you guys to tell me where you got your self-worth. I got about only eight, but eight is cool. Eight is enough. Eight responses on where you think you get it, how you're getting it, and then I kind of helped reframe some of those, and I asked Cindy to do that, and Cindy responded. You get the A plus, Cindy. She wrote me a little story. It was a great story about how she feels. And I asked her to reframe it, rewrite it, and send it back into positive. And she did it. It was like, wham, she nailed it. Except, do I do it? I'm going to throw Jim under the bus. Not this Jim, her Jim. She said to help alleviate, she needs to help alleviate or some of her husband's stress. Not your responsibility. Not your responsibility at all. Oh, I should have waited, huh? So it's not your responsibility. Let's put you, hang on a second. We got meditation break. Ready? So yeah. How was that meditation break? Good for you. It's great for me. I get to watch her walk away now. I hate to see you leave, but I love to watch you walk away. What? Oh, I said I was going to stop that, didn't I? What? Sorry, my fault. I know I'm going to stop with the whole, I'm going to quit that. I'm on here anyway. Anyway, hey, Jason, Mr. Weimer, how are you, sir? So Cindy, Jim's not your responsibility. His stress is not your responsibility. Get him on here. We'll help him deal with that. I understand that we can help alleviate the stress of our loved ones by taking on more ourselves. And I think that's what you meant. However, taking on more is not always the answer. Okay. So we can talk about that later. So double standards. Do you have them? Are you guilty of them? Or are you a victim of them? And I'm willing to bet the answer is yes in both to both questions, right? Are we, a victim of double standards? I would believe yes, and there's so many areas of life where you could pick that out. If you want to interact on here live, send me a couple, please. That'd be really cool. We could, that way I don't have to come up with all of them. But where in your life are you a victim of double standards? Is it a relationship? Is it work? Is it public? Is it perception of neighbor? What is it? Where are you guilty or a victim of double standard? Let's see, where could it be as a victim? Okay, I threw that out there really fast, and I want to back up, and I'm going to apologize to you. To be a victim means you have no control. And as I sat here and started thinking, where am I a victim of double standards? My head immediately went to, I'm not a victim, and I couldn't find any. I know, right? Is that a double standard? I'm asking you to do it, and I can't do it myself. So let's change the word victim. Where am I a witness to double standards? Man, I should have put some thought into this before I came live, huh? Where am I a witness of a double standard? Let's just go through some, okay? And you chime in and tell me what you think. Double standards exist as I witness in some of the coaching I do, and just as an observer of life, right? I'm a student of sociology. I love studying people and cultures and things that happen, and how things success, and I just love these things. So double standards exist in work, relationship, attitude, morals, and ethics, religion. Yeah, yes, double standards exist. Now, what exactly is a double standard? Well, let's define that. I'm not going to use the dictionary to define it. I'm going to tell you what I think it is. So in my life, this is my witness to double standards. Okay, a double standard to me is when somebody says or feels, do as I say, not as I do. Double standard. Or, oh man, I just opened up a can of worms. Cindy said, as a kid with my brother, he could, but I couldn't because he was too big and I was dad. Oh, there's a good one. Parenting is a great place to find double standards, right? Okay, but I lost track here because that was awesome because I'm the big brother, right? We're going to come back to that. Um, do as I say, not as I do. Now, notice I said, do as I say, not as I do, could be a double standard. Do as I say, not as I did is experience. Follow me? Not a double standard, but experience. Do as I say, but not as I did. So as a parent, when I say to my kids, or as a teacher, when I say to my students, look, that is not the best course of action. Because, and I'm speaking from experience. I don't think that's a double standard. Do you? I think that is hindsight and experience. At least that's how I'm lying to myself, right? I'm not lying. I think that's it. So if I say, you may not want to do that. You may want to rethink that course of action, and it's coming from experience. I think that's helpful, not hurtful. On the other hand, if I'm the guy that jumps in my car and speeds around town at 100 miles an hour, and I tell my children, "Don't you drive fast? Don't drive crazy." I think that's a double standard. Does that make sense? Okay. So in your life, are you guilty of double standards? Well, let's pick a couple. Let's use the driving analogy. That seems to be a good one with everybody. Let's say you get in your car and you're late. Don't know why you'd be late. You should be getting up on time, doing everything that you need to do within the allotted time that we have according to our clock in our head, right? And then leaving early enough to casually, I know. All right, so you're late. You're running late. You're in the car and you want to run through a stop sign while you do a little rolling stop. By the way, I'm not advocating any of this. I'm telling you a story. So you roll through the stop sign. You pass in the no passing. You might exceed the speed limit 10 or 20 miles an hour, and you get to where you're going, oh, here I am. Okay, and I can start my day and I, do this. Then there's other days when somebody else does that to you. Somebody comes up on your butt really fast. And well, I'm just going to slow down and honk here, and I'm not going to let them pass. And oh, look at that jerk driving really crazy. Is that a double standard? I think it is, right? There's a double standard. So we're guilty of a double standard. How about this? So when you're driving, that's one. At work, maybe you're the boss. Maybe you're the manager. Maybe you're the owner of the company. And you go to your employees or you go to your subordinates, and that's not a great word, but you go to the people underneath you on the totem pole, and you tell them, don't do this. Don't dress like this. Don't talk like that. Don't walk like this. Even one that I heard the other day, don't post on social media. You're a bad representative for our company. And then you turn around and do the same thing. Double standard. Maybe not you. Okay, let's take you out of the equation. Still a double standard, right? Relationships. Now, I know none of you fall into these categories. I had to go out and do some research on double standards in relationships. And the second I read them, they're easily recognizable, okay? Men and women have different types of double standards, but they're still the same, kind of, okay? Cheating on your significant other. What is cheating? And how do you define that? I know this is a whole nother box of crap over here, but we don't need to get into it, but think about that. Some guys that, then the research is out there, I got to just find it, will not allow their significant other, very controlling individuals too, to speak to another person, man, will not allow them to hang out with their girlfriends, will not allow them to have any independence whatsoever. Now I'm speaking man, woman. Okay. I'm sorry, but right now that's what I'm speaking. And it could happen to other gender roles too. I don't know, but, this is the research I've done. controlling individuals, and it happens on both sides. I'm not just picking on men because there are some women that do this too, but most of the research shows that men, the double standard for men is in a relationship that they control their lady for whatever reason. Their reasons are unnecessarily important to me right now. I don't care why they do it. It's just not right. So you control, you don't want them talking yet. The man can speak to whoever he wants. He can go and hang out with his buddies whenever he wants. He can, go to work and controls all of the finances. Um, that's a double standard. And to take it even further, it's not healthy. And if that's what's going on in your relationship, contact me. And as a coach, I'll try and do my best to help. But yeah, I'm sorry I went dark, but that was a great way to do it, right? Um, God, I don't know how to recover from that one, but that's a double standard, right? So relationships. How about relationships? Cindy, insecurity is usually the main motivator. Mr. Weimer says insecurity is usually the main. Oh, for controlling? Yeah, absolutely. Insecurity and jealousy. But we could do it a whole nother. Maybe we'll do tomorrow, the last day of these 26 days on that. Yeah, because you could do a whole series on that. I've witnessed it. As a matter of fact, and I'll share this with you. I have been guilty of that in the far past in my relationships. I have been guilty of being very insecure, and comes to find out, either my insecurities were founded in reality or created the reality that destroyed my marriage. The first one, a long time ago. Um, Whatever it was, I could really get into that. Look at it, but yeah. And Mr. Weimer says, me too. Live and learn, man, and definitely learn. Um, yeah, that's a tough one. It was on both sides, but yeah, I was probably more guilty of that then than she was, but turned out I was right. Anyway, okay. So double standards at work. We talked about that. Double standards in a relationship. How about father son or mother son? How about parent sibling or child? Okay. Um, are there double standards for age? Cindy seems to think that the older son could do more than the younger daughter. Why daddy's little girl? Well, as a dad, let me tell you something. I had four. I keep saying I had because they've grown up and gone away. Good morning, Mr. Murray Richard. Great. So I have four amazing daughters and three incredible sons. Do I have double standards? My four amazing daughters are, and you'll hear me dote about these all the time, just like my relationship. I'm very proud, very grateful for my family and my kids, my wife, which are my family, but strong daughters, strong women, smart, beautiful, capable. Do I take credit for it? Yes. I can't have all of it, but my wife and of course the girls themselves stood up and really, really did amazing things. Did I overprotect them? Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure I did at times, I tried not to, but the first part of their life was so out of what I thought was acceptable, that I kind of overcompensated a little bit. And then with the turmoil that had happened in my life and the things I was going through, I didn't want them to go through. So I really had a double standard. I don't know if that's a double standard or not. But as my sons came into the picture, I noticed double standards with the boys and the girls for a minute, because I'll tell you what, as my young ladies became older ladies, they were so capable of making incredible decisions for themselves. I was able to just step back and watch the glory and watch them. I mean, so we're off the fact of double standards and we're on to pride now. But when I was being raised in a family of seven, I was the second by 6 months. My stepbrother was older than me by 6 months. We had three. I had three brothers and three sisters through two marriages, and the girls got different treatment than the guys did. But as the guy, I felt like the girls were treated better. They got makeup all the time, and they got new girl stuff all the time, and they were always going shopping. And what did the boys get? Maybe new underwear if we said something about it, right? You don't know as you're growing up that they need that stuff, and you don't need really anything as a young man. Just give me a skateboard and a baseball bat and a glove, and I'm gone, right? Guitar, and I bought all that myself. Anyway, double standards exist. How about brother, sister? No, let's not go there. Let's go to the world that I live in: coaching and martial arts, teaching. In my world, martial arts world, and the life coaching or the strategic intervention, whatever you want to call it, as a coach, as a health coach, as a life coach, you will see double standards. There's a difference. Okay, there's a difference. There are leaders and there are teachers. Neither one, I would assume, is better. Mr. Motley, how are you, sir? Neither one of those are better than the other. Okay, there used to be an old saying, those who can do and those who can't teach. I never agreed with that totally because it sounded like a diss to teachers, and I respected my teachers. I sought them out because they knew how to teach. Have you ever met somebody that was very successful in their field who couldn't explain crap to you? Not a good teacher, right? Successful at doing, not a good teacher. Well, how do you learn from that person? You have to be a good student and how to learn or teach them themselves what the best. All right, let's get off this. So double standards. As a coach, let's say you're a health coach or a personal trainer, and they work your butt off. And you're in the gym and you're doing this and you're doing that and you're eating nothing or this or that. And you see them with a fudge bar or an ice cream sandwich. Shh, I know. Yet they're telling you you can't have it. Is that a double standard? Okay, we'll keep going before I give any judgment calls here. As a martial artist, you get somebody teaching you to break a board. Break that board, because boards, you might get attacked by a 2x4, you never know it. Some rogue pine cut cross grain board may jump out of nowhere and you'll have to break it. I doubt it. But he's teaching you how to break it, and it's important, and he can't break 5 himself. Or worse than that, he can't tell you why he's breaking them. Is that a double standard? Is that just BS? The most successful people, and when I mean success, I'm not talking about finances. I'm talking about fulfillment or categorical accomplishments. Successful people are leaders, not necessarily teachers. Can you be a successful teacher? Yes, absolutely. But in the field that you're teaching, let's say my daughter, beautiful, intelligent, way more intelligent. They're all way more intelligent than I am. Teaches 6th grade, bless her heart. And boy, have I learned a lot about teachers since she started. One, they don't get paid enough. Two, they spend more of their own money sometimes. Anyway, we won't go there. And she's going to get help for me pretty quick. But anyway, as a teacher, she teaches a lot of different subjects. 6th grade, right? I'm sure she has her specialties and she has her favorites, but she's got her responsibility to a number of children is to teach them many subjects. I am one to think that her job isn't to try to make them masters of the subjects that she teaches, but to teach them to contain their learning environment to a productive system that allows them to incorporate what she teaches into everything. And if she does that, she's an incredibly successful teacher. So when I go back to saying those that are the most successful in their field are generally leaders, not teachers, I mean, they have been there before. They have gone through whatever micro thing that you want to study from them. They have been there. Let's say bodybuilding, uh, weight loss, curing themselves of a disease, business success, sales success, financial success. These are all things that can be taught by great teachers to anyone. But to be a leader and lead somebody is different. If you're a leader, do you hold a double standard? I highly doubt it. Does that make sense? If you're a leader, do you have a double standard? I doubt it. Not in the area that you're leading people through. If you're a teacher, do you hold double standards? I don't see how you could. Because if you teach, you're not preaching. You're teaching. You're guiding. Okay? You can point the way for somebody and still sit where you're at and be you while they become them. That's a teacher. A leader picks you up and carries you. Is one better than the other? I don't think so. Okay? Double standards. Are you a victim or are you guilty? And here's my wrap up, okay? Does it matter? Well, just like anything, I think it's subjective, right? If we hold a double standard that's dangerous or that is detrimental, or let's come up with another D word. No, I'm sorry, I can't. If we hold a double standard that is not healthy for ourselves or others, we may want to look at it and reframe the ideas or even change them, correct? I hope so. If we hold a double standard because their lives are not ours and we choose for ourselves what we get to do and they get to choose for themselves what they get to do, and we're not preaching and telling them consistently to not do or to do, I think the double standard's okay. But I think maybe that's the definition of a double standard, isn't it? When you, because it's your standard and you try to put them off on somebody else. You tell me, what do you think? I love the interaction. Double standard was just something that popped into my head the other day and said, let's talk about this because I haven't really given it a whole lot of thought. I know it exists. I see it everywhere. Is it a dangerous thing? I don't know. I think it's a tool that we can use to help teach ourselves, right? Good. I love you guys. Got some good interaction today. This I love. When I point to the screen here, what I'm talking about is I've got people on here responding to me. And I love that. And even if you're watching after the fact, if you choose to watch this later because our schedules are different, chime in because I'll read. Okay. I will read the comments and I will reply to them. I love this. I'm moving on. It's Friday. You guys have a great day. I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday. We'll do a day 25, which is actually the last day of 26 days, right? And we'll wrap it up. We may talk about, Mr. Weimer, controlling individuals. Would you guys want to do that? It's kind of a harsh thing to talk about, but I think from experience, I always try to set a good example. Yeah, Mr. Huntley, always. Let me finish this thought, and I'll address that. Tomorrow, I'll let you guys tell me if nothing comes across as, yeah, let's talk about this. I'll talk about whatever comes into my mind. But right now, I think that we could probably discuss controlling individuals and the factors that surround that, and maybe try to help people change or at least witness it and see it and move away from it. Mr. Huntley said, always try to set a good example. It is my belief. This is something my gratitude statement and my focus for every day, that when I wake up and I move through the day and I encounter anybody like yourselves, I try my best to make sure that the interaction is not only positive, but beneficial and helpful. I want to leave an encounter or a conversation with somebody hoping that I've bettered their moment for that minute. That makes sense? It's hard to express, but that's my hope. So yeah, I always try to set a good example. That would be a double standard, wouldn't it? If yeah, that's a good one, Mr. Huntley. Good job. Okay, did I cover everything? I think so. I love you guys. Cindy, keep up the good work. Mr. Huntley, it's great to talk to you. Mr. Murray, have a great day. I love you too. Um, have a great day. Love you. Oh, I help you. I thought it said, I love you. Help me. I thought you were asking for help. Great. That's good to know. That really makes me effort. Mr. Weimer, you guys take care. Okay. Good, Mr. Murray. Mr. Motley, how's your diet going, Mr. Motley? Contact me. I want to know. Or your fitness challenge, whatever it is. All right, guys. You know what to do. Ponder it. Put it on the shelf. Carry it with you. Teach somebody else. Smile. Be good or don't get caught. I love you. On your mark, get set, go.